The ratings are in for Saturday's AEW Collision 100 episode. Swerve Strickland destroys the Young Bucks limo on AEW Dynamite. MJF and Mark Briscoe have a talk ahead of the Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All In Texas. Gabe Kidd returns to AEW and possibly is set for an AEW All In Texas match after attacking Samoa Joe. Megan Bayne is the number 2 entrant in the Women's Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All In Texas. Several more names have been added to the Men's Casino Gauntlet match, and Ricochet seemingly has found his crew in AEW. Timeless Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné come face to face ahead of AEW All In Texas. Big Boom AJ confirms himself, Big Justice and the Rizzler will be at AEW All In and calls out the Don Callis family. Details on how the Jamie Hayter and Tekla program was affected by Hayter's injury in AEW, and several matches and segments have been confirmed for tonight's AEW Collision live episode. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the ratings and viewership information for AEW Collision 100 last weekend on TNT. Now, ahead of the company's first ever stadium show in the United States, All in Texas, on July 12th, AEW Collision was back in its normal time slot on TNT on Saturday, and the show celebrated its landmark 100th episode. The show featured multiple segments with all-in implications, including a brutal main event where Kyle Fletcher defeated Daniel Garcia to earn an opportunity at the TNT Championship against Adam Cole. Now, Collision bounced back slightly in the ratings with its July 5th episode from the previous week, even during the holiday weekend, due in part to being back in its normal time slot. According to WrestleNomics and the Programming Insider, Collision averaged a total of 310,000 viewers, which is up from the 285,000 viewers of the prior episode, which aired on Thursday, June 26th. Collision still has quite a ways to go to get back to the average of 426,000 viewers it had on Saturday, June 21st, before it switched nights. However, the show will also air on Thursday this week, that being today, due to All in Texas on Saturday, though the show starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. Saturday's episode of Collision ranked 3rd on cable for the night in the ever-important 18 to 49 demographic with a 0.10 rating. According to WrestleNomics, a Savannah Bananas game on ESPN took the first spot on cable with an average of 837,000 viewers and a 0.22 rating. The average viewership of Collision was up 9% from last week, but still down 27% when compared to the trailing 4 weeks. This Thursday, as I mentioned, that being today, will be a special Thursday Night Live episode of Collision. We've got more details than that later on in the video. Going to AEW Dynamite last night, of course, it was the go-home episode for AEW All in Texas this weekend, and there was a crushing loss for the Young Bucks. Swerve Strickland sent a huge message to the Young Bucks on AEW Dynamite just days before All in Texas, crushing their signature limousine after the main event match that pitted the Bucks, Jon Moxley, and Claudio Castagnoli against Will Ospreay, Powerhouse Hobbs, Hangman Adam Page, and Katsuyori Shibata. Strickland appeared on the video screen to stop the Bucks and Death Riders from strangling their opponents with plastic bags. After giving his own hero monologue, Strickland did the damage, taking out the limo with a backhoe. Now, the Young Bucks then proceeded to run around the parking lot to survey the damage. After being taunted by Prince Nana, the Bucks turned around to eat a swerve stomp from Strickland himself. Of course, this coming weekend, it will be the Young Bucks versus Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland with the AEW EVP titles on the line. But if the Young Bucks win, that means that Strickland and Ospreay cannot challenge for the AEW World Championship for 1 full year. MJF and Mark Briscoe had their talk last night on AEW Dynamite, and they went toe-to-toe on the microphone just days before All in Texas. The segment began with MJF making fun of the Texas crowd, speaking in an exaggerated southern accent before getting shut the F up chants. MJF then encouraged Briscoe to leave the ring and go back to his meth lab in Delaware. Briscoe fired back by saying MJF needs a country ass-whooping. Briscoe stressed that Wednesday is talky talk, reminding MJF that he's proud to be a redneck and a country boy. After saying that MJF is morally bankrupt, Briscoe predicted MJF's next move, saying he's going to talk badly about his late brother Jay Briscoe. MJF responded by praising Jay Briscoe, poking at Mark by saying that he's rolling in his grave because his brother has become a joke. As he normally does, MJF proceeded to cross the line, saying that Jay wishes Mark Briscoe would have been involved in the deadly car crash instead. Briscoe proceeded to brawl with MJF before the Hurt Syndicate hit the ring. Jet Speed hit the ring to fight the group off, but the former AEW World Champion still got away unscathed. Now, we saw the return of Gabe Kidd last night on AEW Dynamite. Ahead of AEW All in Texas, Samoa Joe was able to pick up a key victory on AEW Dynamite, submitting Wheeler Yuta with a signature Kikina clutch. After the match, things got dicey as Gabe Kidd emerged from the shadows to attack Joe from behind. This is Kidd's first appearance in AEW since the Double or Nothing pay-per-view back in May. The New Japan Pro Wrestling star was quickly chased off by Powerhouse Hobbs and Kachizori Shibata. Now, it's currently unknown if Gabe Kidd will be involved at AEW All in Texas. However, a new report from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select indicates that he will. Now, yesterday it was reported by Fightful Select that the Ops versus the Death Riders was planned for AEW All in Texas in a trios match with a special combination of Death Riders. Of course, Pac is still sidelined with an injury and can't compete at Global Life Field on Saturday. Gabe Kidd, reportedly, according to Sean Ross Sapp, was locked in as the third member of the Death Riders last week. And, of course, as of last night, he is set to compete at All In, according to Fightful. AEW's All In plans were adjusted over the last month due to some injuries. We'll talk about that a bit later on, too. Megan Bayne, she's in the Women's Casino Gauntlet match, and she will be the number 2 entrant. On the July 9th edition of AEW Dynamite, Bayne, Tay Mello, Tekla, and Queen Aminata competed in a 4-way match to determine the second entrant into the Women's Casino Gauntlet match at All in Texas. Megan Bayne ended up winning the contest, pinning Queen Aminata after planting her with a running powerbomb. With the victory, Bayne now has won 4 straight matches within the confines of All Elite Wrestling. Chris Statlander earned the number 1 spot in the Women's Casino Gauntlet match on the June 25th edition of AEW Dynamite, defeating Athena, Thunder Rosa, and Willow Nightingale in a 4-way contest. But now we know that Megan Bayne will be the number 2 entrant. Speaking of the Casino Gauntlet matches, several names have been added to the men's version of the match. Ricochet, Brody King, and Ring of Honor World Champion Bandido have been confirmed for the Casino Gauntlet at AEW All in Texas. The new additions were made official on the July 9th episode of AEW Dynamite. Brody and Bandido teamed on AEW Dynamite, losing to Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Ricochet picked up the victory over Blake Christian. Now, they joined MJF, Mystico, and Mark Briscoe as the confirmed entrants in the Men's Casino Gauntlet. Briscoe and MJF will begin the gauntlet, and new entrants will come in at various times. The match can end before anyone has entered the match. The match ends via pinfall or submission. The winner of the match will receive an AEW World Championship opportunity. Christian Cage won the 2024 Casino Gauntlet at All in London. Now, when it comes to Ricochet, he seemingly has a new faction. In recent weeks, AEW star Ricochet has expressed his desire to form a new crew on Dynamite, with him continuing to set his sights on championship gold in the company. In his quest for a new crew, Ricochet has begun teasing an alliance with Bishop Korn and Toa Leona of the Gates of Agony, with the pair taking out Lee Johnson on Collision. This led to Johnson's partner Blake Christian facing Ricochet on last night's AEW show, but it didn't take long for the Gates of Agony to show up, distracting Christian at ringside. This led to Ricochet picking up the victory over Blake Christian, with the Gates of Agony attacking Christian after the match with the help of Ricochet before the 3 men posed together. Ricochet, as I mentioned, was announced as a participant in the Men's Casino Gauntlet match at AEW All in Texas this weekend in Arlington, Texas. Now, Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné faced off before their big AEW Women's World Championship match this weekend. Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné had their final face-to-face on the July 9th episode of AEW Dynamite, ahead of their AEW All-In Showdown. While Mercedes was in the ring, Storm first appeared backstage. She noted that only 2 things come from Texas, and she is one of them. Mercedes told Toni to meet her face-to-face, calling her a mark. Toni made her way to the ring, and Mercedes toasted to herself, saying she's the future AEW Women's World Champion. Mercedes was not thrilled with the taste of the champagne, though. Toni told her to save the performative bullshit for her entrance. Quote, "I warned you, I'm not like the others. You speak in catchphrases. You have the authenticity of a spray tan in a rainstorm. You have the emotional depth of a kiddie pool. You're also a fraud." Tony said she found herself in the AEW Women's World Championship and that all the belts Mercedes wears is just masks what's actually behind. What are you so afraid of? Asked Tony. Mercedes said even though they've walked similar paths, they are nothing alike. Quote, I will always be better than you, said Mercedes before she said she's not afraid of anyone or anything. I've been to hell and back and I made the devil my bitch. The more these people hate me, the more that I win. No one is going to stop the Mone train. Mercedes says she was the one-woman revolution, the alpha, the omega, and everything in between. Legacies don't exist, said Tony. One day, we will all turn to dust and be forgotten. We're all going to die. All that matters is one moment. The moment when you step into this ring and you look me in the eye and you realize that you fear an ordinary life because I fear an ordinary death. Tony said she believes Mercedes deserves all the titles in the world, but not the AEW Women's World title. You will go down as the woman who just couldn't win the big one, stated Tony. Mercedes said, may the best woman win, for a toast and a drink. Eat shit, bitch, stated Tony, before ducking a strike by Mercedes and setting up for a Mone maker. Mercedes escaped and rolled out of the ring, living to fight another day. Of course, timeless Toni Storm will defend her AEW Women's World Championship against Mercedes Mone at AEW All In Texas this coming Saturday, July 12th. Speaking of All In Texas, Big Boom AJ and his crew will be in attendance. Big Boom AJ is ready to bring the boom to AEW All In. In a new social media video, Big Boom AJ of the Costco Guys stated that he, Big Justice, and the Rizzler will be at AEW All In. He called out members of the Don Callis family, including Trent Beretta, Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, Hechicera, and Rocky Romero. He said it didn't matter who Don Callis sent. He was coming to the ring at Globe Life Field to take down the Don Callis family. Don Callis family members Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita were not mentioned. Of course, Fletcher will challenge Adam Cole for the AEW TNT Championship at All In, while Takeshita will challenge Bandido for the Ring of Honor World Championship at the upcoming Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor pay-per-view. Big Boom hasn't wrestled since AEW Revolution 2025 when he teamed with Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy to defeat Johnny TV and MXM Collection. Big Justice and the Rizzler were in the corner of Big Boom for the match. Big Boom is undefeated in AEW with a 2-0 record. A match featuring Big Boom has not yet been confirmed for AEW All In on July 12th. Of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, there was going to be a program with Jamie Hayter and Tekla, but those plans were derailed by injury. AEW President Tony Khan alluded to it on the AEW media call, but there were injuries that caused a domino effect to original plans, namely Jamie Hayter, who was a talent that had originally factored into the All-In build. Hayter sustained an injury at AEW Double or Nothing and has not been cleared ever since. At that point, creative was kept very quiet as to Tekla's debut with the company and when she'd actually appear. According to Sean Rossap of Fightful Select, when Hayter was effectively sidelined, Tekla's debut was put together in a way that Hayter could participate with the hope that things would get picked up upon her return. However, Hayter ended up missing more time than AEW expected. Now, Fightful Select have been told that AEW is hopeful they can pick up things when Hayter is back. And finally, as I mentioned earlier on, AEW Collision is live this evening. A huge match has been added to July's 10th episode of AEW Collision, that being tonight. The match will see FTR, duo Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood team up with Christian Cage and Nick Wayne of the Patriarchy to face Jet Speed, that being Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Outrunners. Of course, if there are any more matches added to the show, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.